Talking. Good evening, everybody. Sorry I kind of snuck this in here. I was supposed to do this a couple of days ago, but then I decided to do a live because people were asking me to do a live. So I did a TikTok live, but I have the show here. So I figured I might go ahead and just have a little chit chat with it. So definitely going to do that. Let's talk about the draft. We had a wonderful time. Me and my cousin went up to the draft like we always do. We've already booked our room for, the DC trip, and we cannot wait for it. We cannot wait. So absolutely happy about it. Absolutely ready to go. Just as this one ends, man, I drove 5 hours to Waynestown, Indiana. And then we woke up early the next day and drove 6 hours and 45 minutes to through Ohio all the way into Pittsburgh, and it was just a blast. Large footprint, had 800,000 plus people there. You could not ask for any more space. It was great. I absolutely loved it. And I couldn't get enough of it. The food was great. The people were great. We had just an absolutely great time. I highly suggest you visit Pittsburgh because it was a happening place. They know how to have a good time and all of that good stuff. I cannot stress it enough how much fun Pittsburgh was. Visit it. Have a great time there. I certainly did. Can't wait to be back. So we'll go through some stuff here or there. Chad Brinker steps down as Titans president. I forget what his full title was. I think it was president or head of operations or something along those lines. Good for Chad. A lot of people give Chad rather unfairly a lot of flack. It's not fair really at all. And anybody will tell you that. Any of the beat reporters will tell you that. But people want to believe what they want to believe. That's just the day and age we are in. He steps down and he's going to get a job where he could deal with the personnel and everything like that. And people are like, there's bad blood here and blah, blah, blah. I mean, the guy could have left while he was prepping us for the draft because, that's one of his duties. He preps the draft. If he really wanted to screw Tennessee, he could have left during that time. He didn't. He did what he was supposed to do and resigned afterwards. And the feeling around the building was they didn't expect it, but, it's done. I hope he wasn't pushed out or anything like that because he chose Mike Borgonzi. And I'll tell you this about Chad Brinker. He had the choice to pick up his best bud, John Eric Sullivan, who is now the GM with the Dolphins. Him and Brinker were buddies. And he had the choice between him and Borgonzi. And he did not pick his friend. He picked Mike Borgonzi because he thought he would be better for the job. He said it was one of the hardest phone calls he ever had to make was to tell his best bud he was not hiring him. Okay? Chad Brinker picked Mike Borgonzi. He picked him over his best friend. So I think that's important to keep in mind. Okay? And wouldn't you know it, sometime later, Mike Borgonzi does not pick Matt Nagy. And it is said they were close at one time. And he picked Saleh because he feels like he's the right man for a job. So I actually like that. I think that's great. So best of luck to Chad Brinker in the future, wherever that is. I think he's going to go back to Green Bay, I would believe. I think he goes back to Green Bay and gets a personnel job there. And we're going to see Chad Brinker be a GM someday. I fully believe that. So good for him. Best of luck, Mr. Brinker. Hope it's a good one. Thank you for your service, sir. That being said, it is now hopefully fully the Mike Borgonzi show, even though I think it was already, but you never know. Carlos talks NFL, host of the Just Fans podcast and other things, and a writer for Esquena. He runs a great show. I was on with him last Monday, and it was a terrific time. One of the few Texans people I really enjoy being around, talking sports with. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. So we move on. We go up there. We have the draft, right? So it's ongoing, and Jeremiah Love is picked. And I see my Titans brethren and sisters, children, weeping and whining or whatever else. I was not, because I do not pick running backs in the first round. I just don't do it. If I'm picking a running back in the first round, it's going to be later on. I'm one of those people, and people keep talk to me about playmakers. They can talk to me about all of this stuff. I refuse to. Carlos, you're just yelling my name over and over. What's going on? Is everything okay? Tell me, is little Timmy stuck in the whale? What's going on? Tell me. Anyway, so we're up at the draft, and Jeremiah Love gets taken by the Arizona Cardinals. They add another running back to their roster, which is a little odd, but hey, they think this guy's a game changer. So that's great. And the Titans come up, and I was like, please Tate, because I had said, partially selfishly, I had said Tate months ago. And I think weeks leading up to the draft, I said, yeah, I'm drafting Tate. It's trade out or Tate. And I got a lot of flack for that, And little did we know that here he is, falling in our lap. Happy about it. Happy they chose Tate. A little curious about the defensive end. And but hey, I don't know the measurements there. Maybe Saleh really felt like he could do something here with him. I don't know. I don't think Kendrick Falk's a bad player by any degree. I was just hope that they would trade back in, that somebody was going to grab him. They did not expect him to be there. So we'll find out. We'll find out together. I know Kendrick Falk has a lot of the measurables that people like in a pass rusher, and I guess that just kind of carried it on to the great beyond. So good for Kendrick Falk, good for Tate for being here. I didn't really hate a draft pick or whatever. I just didn't like this draft, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody's very exceptional. It looks like all eyes are on 2027 in Washington, D.C., but I do think you can get good value in this draft, and I do believe the Titans got good value in this draft. That being said, draft grades, which I hate. If anybody knows me, knows I hate draft grades because they're just utter crap. And I'm giving everybody a sweeping B+ because this draft was so wacky. It's just how I feel. Oh, goodness gracious. Not this joke again. Oh, boy. Anyway, so the draft happens, we get it done, then we have all the reaction, right? We have anybody and everybody either happy about it, mad about it, disappointed about it. It's all mixed in together. People that said, hey, the Titans had a great draft, great free agency, also have us last in the power rankings, which makes me roll my eyes or whatnot. The Athletic did too, which made me think Diana Rossini did the power rankings before she resigned or something like that. She is a hoot. I tell you, that woman is just a big walking distraction. I'll tell you that much, but that gets done. So everybody gets a B+ for me, as much as draft grades go or whatnot. I can't really think of anybody stealing in the draft. I am not ready, as of right now, to doubt Les Snead and anything he does when he's with the Rams. I feel that man, as crazy as the stuff he does, not having a first-round draft pick most of the time or anything like that, manages to just keep that team churning, moving, pushing forward. So he takes Ty Simpson. I'm sitting there. I have Rams fans probably to the left of me, about 50 feet away. And these people were distraught. I mean, absolutely distraught. I raised an eyebrow at that move as I was sipping on another Moscow Mule. And I just thought that, that's a strange pick. But then you remember it's Les Snead. So I am really curious how that's going to turn out. I wonder if they just think he's going to back up Stafford. And then we have the weird reaction from Sean McVay afterwards. It was just all very odd. very odd night. They said that that's been the pick for 10 days now or something like that beforehand. Just a lot of strange things happening around with that Ty Simpson pick. I don't know if we'll ever figure it out, but it is what it is. I have my friends in chat are becoming quite the nuisance, filling up my chat bar. I don't know what they're doing this Sunday night, but they are making it interesting. Big balls dolls, I should say. Sam, I will only downplay the Rams this year. I'd say take the under and wins, but man, their division stinks. It's their division. I thought was pretty cool. What kind of Moscow Mule? I don't know. I just order a Moscow Mule and it tastes good. I never really asked about flavor or anything like that. I don't think I've ever asked about what flavor a Moscow Mule is or whatnot. It's definitely not tequila. It's definitely whiskey. It's definitely whiskey. I can't do tequila. I will get sick. Absolutely sick. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. No, it was definitely whiskey. I remember the whiskey though. But yeah, 3 Moscow Mules sitting there watching the draft in Pittsburgh, surrounded by great people, great food. Yeah, can't really beat it. Had a wonderful time. Can't wait to go back. So DC's on the clock next. So it should be exciting. Anybody in chat there, if you're gonna blow up my chat stream, did you see a pick that you felt was like just a massive overreach? And which pick did you also think was just like perfectly picked and whatnot? I'm hesitant on Sonny Styles personally. I'm glad, that the Commanders think they can really do a lot with him. But that doesn't mean that this is just some great answer to their prayers. He's going to be rough around the edges. Athletic-wise, he is tops. But I'm a little nervous about taking a guy that high. That one was a bit of a reach to me. But, next year is DC. Yeah, big reflecting pool and everything. It's going to be fun. You can't hate against good. No, you really can't. They're delicious. I don't like them with gin, though. You said gin in one of them, and I can't do it. Can't do it. Just tastes funky to me. So, Downs going to Dallas was such a great steal. They did very well. Downs is one of the few players in this draft that I was just like certified stud. Downs going to Dallas was absolutely huge. I also liked what the Jets did, for what it's worth. I hope that they can start really, really digging out of hell, because God knows they've been punished enough. So, the Utah tackle going top 10 was quite a reach. Yeah, the offensive linemen are not rated very high in this draft, but people are willing to go out there and try to get these guys to make things happen. So I'll give them that, Did the Patriots take a tackle? Didn't they also take a tackle? I know the guy looked super awkward up there. That was kind of weird. I see Tampa Bay took Ruben Bain, and I thought that was an intriguing move. But I think they can also probably afford to take Ruben Bain. But I also felt like offense was probably more what they needed than another pass rusher. I hate that Dallas and the Raiders did so well. They did. They really did. We'll see what really happens for the Raiders, because their whole mission is going to have to be to get Mendoza up and going if Kirk Cousins doesn't start. But I can't shake that feeling. I wonder if Kirk Cousins is going to start. I'm going to have to do a short video on that, put it out there for everybody to see. Jets will Jets these picks up. Yeah, probably. I don't know where Goose is. He's probably asleep. It's Sunday. I need to go to bed too. I'm going to go to bed soon as well. I just know I need to get this episode out of the way. Yeah, Pats took the right one. Yeah, they got to try to fix something. That protection was just utter crap as far as I'm concerned. Soon we'll have the schedule out, though, somewhere between May 12th and the 14th, and maybe I'll actually get an easy one. You would think picking the first round draft pick last year, numero uno, would get you some leeway in the schedule. It did not last year. We went through a runners, just an absolute gauntlet of guys with great defenses. It's awful. He won't start. Stop. What? What are you talking about? Are you drinking? Are you drinking and hanging out in your garage while you clean it? Is that what's going on here? So, but yeah, that was the NFL draft. Perfectly great time. B pluses for everybody as far as this wacky draft is going to do. Cool to see Tate. Cool to I got to watch film on him the other night. Looks like a solid player. So happy about that. Happy to see that. I think he is. Excuse me. I think Tate is going to be an absolute. I don't want to say absolute stud, but I think a very viable option in the wide receiving core for years to come. So if you had to pick one team to go at 017, why would it be the Packers? You're trying to call him. You're trying to call him in. He thinks you speaks ill of the Packers that he will make his appearance. I'm sure it's possible. It's possible. Cousins won't start. Okay, so Tanner here says that it's Mendoza or nothing. Actually, I am in my garage drinking. Well, it was just a feeling. It was just a feeling I had. Okay, I get it. I wish I was in my garage drinking. Oh, Lordy. Everybody feel good about their draft out there, I'm sure. Everybody says they've done great. I asked that question. They're like, this is an A+. This guy's an A+. This team's an A+. It's amazing. And then every other team they talk about, they don't give them an A+. So they're the only team that got the A+. They're the only ones that figured it out. You got to love it. Fandom at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to act like you're not biased, but you are. Interesting. Smooth, bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it works out. So I'm mostly curious about this reffing situation coming up. I really can't deal with the refs like that. That whole fiasco in Seattle was just absolutely awful. I couldn't stand it. So I really, really hope they figure out something with the refs. And it's just ridiculous that we'd have to go through this again. You're like this giant money-making machine, and we can't figure out what to pay the refs. Just pay them millions of dollars and move on. I don't see why this has to be a big deal. This guy and his feelings are on point. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. So the other thing I always also have my eye on is best Titans podcast or third best football podcast. The third best. Well, that's nice to be in the top 5. I wouldn't think I'm anywhere near. I'd probably be in the line like Beetlejuice waiting for his turn, right, with a big long piece of paper. Oh yeah, I'll be interested in that. These replacement refs. That's just nightmare fuel. To be a nightmare fuel for the Seahawks and the Packers as well. I mean, if we do this and they start botching out right out of the gate, it's going to look really bad. Really bad. So just give the refs what they want, and let's just not go through that. That's my reasoning behind it. I don't want to go through it. I think it would suck to go through it again. We tried this experiment before. I don't want to try it again. No, thank you. 1 star, would not recommend. That's where I'm at on replacement refs. I think most people are. I don't think most people want to put up with it. So, oh, is that how it works? Oh, just us 3. Just us, the 3 musketeers, right? Athos, Pothos, and Aramis. All about it. All about it. Anyway, I'm trying to think if we have any other topics. I went down my outline here or anything like that. The draft is done. We got schedule coming out next. I'm curious. Maybe we'll do a way too early division picking segment coming up. That would be a fun thing. Just everybody already grasping on to who's winning which division outright. It is off-season NFL football talk, not the best when you get to pick these things. Isn't it crazy? One of the things I absolutely have my eye on, though, where there were rumors about Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel while in Nashville. And I would be very curious about how the Titans moved on from Mike Vrabel getting signed to a big contract in October and then getting fired. All of a sudden, he was fired right after that story came out from Diana Rossini that he was getting a big contract extension. So that happening already kind of made me curious about why and what was going on. You know, if I have heard all of the accusations, I have heard all of the consternation. I'd be very curious if the Titans would face a punishment if they knew about it and just kind of pushed it on down the road, or looked at it and said, hey, we can't deal with this. Because if there is collusion there and they used it to manipulate things, there could be a pretty stiff punishment for the Patriots and Titans. And that's one punishment I'd rather not face. But it was really odd and curious that he went from being signed to a big extension to being fired. So thanks, Sam, for doing the show so late. Let's do a way too early division after OTAs. Okay, I'll be patient. Wait for that then. I'll be patient. Saleh and Daboll are definitely letting the press know how their feelings are on it by posting them farther away from practice, which a great number of them are not happy about. He also is not going to do a full practice with them, but more of a run through. So, more of a run through, because as Saleh put it himself, he goes, you can call it a scar, because he remembered people getting hurt when he was with the Jaguars, because they have been traveling and moving everywhere. And then you expect him to go full speed during OTAs, and then they get hurt. So he called it a scar, and one that has scarred him. So they're just doing basic run-throughs and stuff. I'm not really wild about that, but, you know, he is the head coach. Maybe it's better for him. What do I know? I have no clue. That'd be dumb if anyone faces punishment. I agree. Unless it hurt you. I mean, not me personally. It hurt the team. I mean, you can lose draft picks and whatnot from anything that I've read. But I don't know. This whole thing, you know, a lot of people are like, I don't care about personal issues and blah, blah. A Patriots fan will say they don't care about the personal issues. And to me, it's not about the affair. It's about what it means when it comes to reporting stories and everything else. Are you objective? Are you all these things? That's what it means to me. The affair is just a piece of it, the tip of the iceberg, because it seems like the more Rossini and Mike Vrabel stories come out, the more pictures we see, the more stories we see, the more speculation we see. You know, I'd be curious if anything else comes out about it, where it leads. I don't think it will lead to him resigning. That would be absolutely crazy to me. But, you know, this league is crazy from time to time, and things happen. It would be very odd to me if he quit or got fired. But I think more likely, if something that crazy were to happen, he would resign as opposed to being fired. As for her, I don't know what she's going to do now. I have no clue. I don't know how they move on. But, yeah, that's fair. Well, thank you. I try to be fair. Try to be. All eyes are on to Cam Ward this offseason. Can he make the step of Brian Daboll? Can they get things going? That's where it is for me this offseason. I just need number one to be ready to go. And I hope he is. I'd be very curious about Kenneth Walker IV and the Chiefs. I wonder if they think Mahomes coming back and he's not 100% while he's on the field. If they do a little more handoffs, it would be interesting to see a Andy Reid offense run the football a lot more. I think it's possible. It would be very interesting to me. I'm also curious to where Will Levis ends up. So that is exactly what Diana Rossini is going to do. Or an OnlyFans. Oh, Now she'll start a podcast and say, woe is me, it's not my fault, but you don't produce proof of it at any time. Like, if you actually like read through that story, like the New York Post actually said, hey, if you give us a reason why this could all not be true, go ahead and let us know. We won't post it. She didn't do it. She had 2 days. She goes into the Athletic. They stand behind her, but then they start getting a lot of pressure internally from their own reporters that are saying you need to investigate this. So they do, and they ask for the same thing. And what does she do? She resigns. It's just a bad look. 100%. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I don't think he's going to be 100%. I would rather he not take the field if he's not 100%, but I don't think he's going to be. I just don't. That injury, I've seen it happen to player after player. They always get out there and they're like, yeah, I made it to week 1, and they're barely moving. Or you look like Ben Roethlisberger, and he had looked like he had a frog foot. They had his legs so wrapped up heavily. It was crazy looking. So I don't know. We'll see where it is. I would be very curious if Kenneth Walker IV is leading in rushing in the first month of the season. It wouldn't surprise me, though. It would not surprise me. She's bad looking for her. She can make some money. Yeah, she's I find I mean, she's got assets. I hate saying that, but it's true. But I would be very curious. I think she's just going to work at Barstool or something like that, or probably something not as high profile, I would imagine. So we'll see where it leads from here. Off-season NFL talk. It's what we're here. It's what we're doing here. So, yeah, but Mahomes is weird. Yeah, I mean, he can't mall walk out to the huddle like he usually does. So, we'll see. We'll see. I am not double jointed kneecap. Well, that's cool. I still don't. I highly doubt he's 100%. I'm not a betting man, but I just don't think so. I'm sure he's got other weird stuff. He's a weird man, that Mahomie. He was a strange man. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out with me this evening. We are approaching the 30-minute mark. I got through most of the off-season stories at the beginning of the show, but hey, we're making it. We did it. We did it together, and that's all that matters. So we're going to talk about division, way too early division predictions and what we think. And I'm going to talk about some quarterbacks next show that I'm already working on. How do we feel about the upcoming quarterbacks? Where do we think some other quarterbacks will end up during the season? Who is really going to be quarterbacking the Arizona Cardinals? We'll get down to all of that together next show. So next Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching Fanboys Unleashed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be pushing out some more videos soon. Have a great evening, everybody.